Hey guys, I'm Jake. Welcome back to Bible in Review. Today I found another fascinating Jubilee video about a gay man who willingly chose to go to gay conversion therapy and become a Christian. We're going to go through it to learn what Chris's experience was with it all, as well as maybe point out some of the questions and comments from the people interviewing him that are potentially made in bad faith. Going into this, I'd like for us to remember that none of us are perfect people and we all commit sin. So before we go to judge anyone in the video, we should make sure that it's not coming from a place of self-righteousness or some kind of holier-than-thou complex, but that we appear through love, compassion, and empathy towards these people and their struggles. That being said, let's get into this.
What did the gay conversion therapy consist of? Was it just counseling sessions? Was it like overnight stays or anything like that?
It was one-on-one counseling as well as group meetings. It was like a faith-based program. So I found it beneficial. I thought that it was good because I like the one-on-one counseling, and I like that, these were therapists that are, helping you work through things that have happened in your life. Nothing really traumatizing happened to me sexually as a child, but there's other things in my life that they sort of feel like probably maybe made me gay.
I don't know if you feel comfortable saying, all the things that went on, because I know that they do like shock therapy and different tactics. Would you say that there was a form of abuse? And then if there were abuse, were there any minors involved? Because I know that a lot of teens, young adults get sent there. So would you say that it was child abuse in a way?
That's one of the misconceptions with conversion therapy, that, when you sign up for conversion therapy, you're going for shock treatment, you're signing up for a lobotomy. Someone would have their license taken away so quickly if they...
Well, what about mental abuse?
There's a lot to unpack here. Well, yes, shock treatment and other methods used to be used in the past to create new pathways in your brain to associate homosexual urges with negative impulses like pain or nausea. They've been nearly completely eradicated within the practice. With that being said, we can't just act like electroconvulsive therapy isn't a real, legal, well-evaluated and studied medical procedure that isn't used to torture people like you see in the movies. In fact, it's not painful at all when used in the medical world. In an electroconvulsive therapy procedure, general anesthesia is always involved, meaning you're asleep during the procedure. This isn't to say that it should be used in conversion therapy, even if it can work. As in most applicable cases, there largely tends to be far less inhumane and extreme alternatives.
Well, what about mental abuse?
In my experience, there was never any type of demonizing of any behavior. It's based on love. It's based in love. That's what their whole mission is.
It's based on love, but heterosexual love, correct? Not like the quote, love is love. I don't think that would apply in this instance, because they're not saying love is love. They're saying love is a man and a woman.
They're trying to work on self-love and forming your identity and who you are as a person. It should be in Christ. It shouldn't be in who you have sex with. So just because they have sex with a guy, or they have some type of intimacy with a man, or get drunk and have sex or kiss or whatever that physical act may be, that doesn't mean necessarily that they're gay, because I think that...
Damn straight.
It's important that we understand what love is. Love is a feeling that can be projected outward onto anything and everything. I read in a comment that was rather harshly worded, but poignant nonetheless. I'll try and keep my words a little kinder, but it essentially said that we should look at the phrase love is love like water is water. You can cup your hands into a toilet bowl and drink from it, but that doesn't mean you should. Just like water can be corrupted and impurified by certain things, love can be corrupted, or rather hijacked, by different parts of your brain to lead you to identify things that you shouldn't love with things that you do. Chris touches on this a little bit more here.
This whole idea that, it's all about love. Love is love, man. Just love who you want to love. It's I feel like that's the problem, and that's toxic. And I feel like
Why?
Because love is love. Okay, so here's the thing. You have a girl who's madly in love with this boyfriend that beats the shit out of her all the time. And, she stays with him for years. She keeps trying to leave him. She can't. It's this, toxic up relationship. Love is love. It's just about love. It's no, love is a feeling. And I think that you cannot base your life and your decisions on a feeling, because feelings change all the time. Just because you label something as love doesn't mean that it's right. And that's what I feel like there's this push to do. It's
So you think being gay is wrong? That's what it makes me sound like, that you're comparing homosexuality to an abusive boyfriend, when I think those two things are different.
Chris echoes a lot of the same sentiments I do when it comes to this, so we'd agree here. It's important to point out that the woman questioning him is drawing a false dichotomy from Chris's explanation of why love isn't an inherently good thing by using the example of an abusive relationship and being gay. Chris isn't trying to say these two things are one and the same, because they aren't. Very clearly, these are two different scenarios. This woman isn't arguing with with Chris, but the imaginary version of him she's creating in her head. I point this out mainly because the video is edited almost in a way to mislead you and make you think that she caught Chris out in his logic, when in reality, it appears to me that they just have a simple misunderstanding.
You talked about building a relationship with God, and you felt being gay kept you from that relationship. What changed?
At that time, I still viewed being gay and homosexuality as a sin, and I felt like sin is what separates us from God. What changed? I came back to my faith, I would say, about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's been a positive experience. And I've sort of made peace with this whole idea that I have to change my sexuality, my sexual identity, if I'm going to be a Christian, because I don't feel like it's necessarily as big of a deal as people make it out to be in our culture today. And I don't think that it's as big of a deal to God. There's this push in our culture to like be obsessed with like, am I gay, am I straight? And then if I'm gay, I have to have gay sex and have a gay lifestyle and like be, do these things. And it's not necessarily the case. I just need to maybe chill out and kind of let things happen organically and not stress about what label they have or what their sexuality is.
That right there is almost perfect. When gay people attack Christianity or the church for trying to change who they think they authentically are, we must understand that our sexuality is an incredibly small part of who we actually are, and we shouldn't let that be our defining factor. It's not that being gay or being straight is who you are, it's a propensity that you have. It's still your choice whether you choose to act on it or not. When worldly things or urges seek to consume our identity, we should turn to Christ to give our hearts rest and a holistic sense of who we are. I didn't cover every single topic in this video, just the ones I felt I could do justice. So if you want to watch the whole video, I'll leave that in the description below. I hope you can come away from this video seeing that conversion therapy isn't this horrible, evil, taboo thing that everyone tries to make it out to be, and be able to defend as much when it gets brought up. At the very least, I hope you can appreciate having an additional perspective on this topic and that I've provided insight of some kind. You guys really seem to like my last video, which honestly relieved me a ton since this type of content is something I've been wanting to make for a very long time. I just want to thank all of you for your recent support, and as much as I want to hear it, please don't hesitate to tell me when I get something wrong. I'm 20, I'm a young guy, I don't know everything. I want you guys to call me out on my mistakes or messaging if it ever starts to come from a place of pride or winning arguments instead of winning hearts. Not that I've done that perfectly either, but I want to be able to have you guys to keep me and my ego in check. That being said, I'm super cautiously optimistic as to the future of this channel, but I couldn't be more excited as to where this can lead. I'm super happy that I have the opportunity to do something like this, and I really think that making these videos helps keep my mind on God, and I hope that in watching it, it does the same for you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Share this video if you found it interesting at all. If you want to help me out, liking, commenting, subscribing helps me out a ton, and I love reading your guys' comments, even the negative ones. That's all I've got for today, so thanks for watching. God bless.